I'm Jeizel, and this is Famously Unknown, the podcast. So, as you guys can see, I am one less lonely girl right now. Elise is under the weather, unfortunately, so Jolene is not able to make it to this podcast, but the show must go on. So, you guys are getting your first October episode, and we've missed you guys so much. Hopefully, we can get her to chime in. If not, then we're going to figure this out because this episode is going to be about twins. And this is so freaking awkward that the twin is not here, but we're gonna make it work. And if anything, we have Obi. Obi's like the third twin, so we're gonna make it work. Period. So let's get into it. So today's trending topic, we were gonna talk about what we I feel like I'm missing a person right now, but Jolene and I were gonna touch on the topic of, I don't know if you guys saw on TikTok, but Tia Mowry is starting a new reality show. And I think it's called like The Second Act or something. Don't quote me. I'll link it if you guys want to see what I'm talking about on YouTube so you guys could see exactly what I'm talking about. But she's starting a new reality show, and she basically touched on the first episode how her and Tamara are not as close as they used to be. So that really had me and Jolene's kind of like brainstorming, and we kind of had us like, like, oh snap, we're not the only ones that are trying to navigate our lives and trying to figure this stuff out. So it really like lit like a light bulb in our head, like, oh snap, we're not alone. So let's open this discussion. Let's talk about this subject to everybody. And I just feel like it's a good discussion because she did clear it up, and she said that like they're not close in like distance or whatever, but I think she was just trying to save face. No shade to Tia and Tamara, but I think she was trying to save face because she knows that their relationship is not that close, but I don't think she meant to like air it out on reality TV. And you know how reality TV gets stuff misconstrued and stuff. So I think that she tried to save face and was like, no, it's just like the distance. But I honestly think that they're not as close as they used to be. And I just think that like growing up, both of them are married with children. They both live separate lives. Even when we saw them on their reality show that they had together, we kind of saw their personalities are very different, and they're very different people. Even, one married a black man, one married a white man. I don't care what nobody say. That makes a big difference, and that plays a big factor in like your lives. People can act like it doesn't, but I think that it does. My opinion. But yeah, so we actually asked some twins we asked them 3 questions, and we just wanted to like kind of open this conversation with twins, with us. I should have got Jolene's answers recorded since we were not expecting Elise to not feel well. So this kind of makes me feel like I'm only telling my side, but hopefully the next episode we can get Jolene to kind of chime in and just like make her listen to the podcast and make her be like, okay, what are your thoughts on like what was said about the twins and stuff? Because I would love to answer these questions too. And me and Jolene are very different people. We're very similar, but very different. You guys see that all the time. And it just kind of opens the discussions for all the twins around us, all the twins that follow us and watch us, fraternal twins, identical twins. And I just feel like there's a really good discussion to have with siblings that are closer than siblings, because we literally were in the same womb together. Like, it's just a different subject. So let's get into it. The questions that I asked, I'm gonna answer them myself, and then I feel like I should get Obi to say it to me so I don't feel like I'm talking to myself. Because I feel like I'm talking to myself right now. Like, it's flowing, but I'm like, co-host, like, chime in. But I'm just like speeding through this right now. But I'll tell you guys the questions that I did ask these twins. We asked a few twins, and only like 2 of them got back to us. And I get it, everybody has their own lives, like I said. And there was actually 1 pair of twins that they both answered questions. So that was really cool. So I'm just going to get into the questions that we asked. So the 3 questions we asked was, what is life like with a twin? Okay, so question 2 is, do you and your twin get along? If so, what keeps the bond strong? If not, what separated the bond? And the 3rd question is, if there's one piece of advice you can tell a younger pair of twins, what would it be? These are really good questions. So I'm going to start with mine, and obviously we'll get into the other twins who answered. So the first question is, what's life like with a twin? Honestly, I can't see life without a twin because me and my sister were born together. Like, we're mono imano twins, which means we were in the same sac. We shared the same nutrients, everything. Like, we were touching each other while we were in the womb. So our bond is like no other. And I can't see life without Jolene. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And we're just like a little too close. Like, it's a little disgusting. But we love it. The second question is, what do you and your twin get along? So it says, if so, what keeps the bond strong? I honestly feel like our bond is so strong because we just, like, we know that we're each other's built-in best friends. So if there's no one else we could turn to, we know we have our twin sister. Like, we know, like, we do everything together. We figured out life together. And even the moments where we don't get along too much, we still know that we can lean on each other. We are so fortunate to share one best friend who she understands, like, both of us, and she understands where both of us come from. But it also is like, we've been friends with her since middle school. So she's been able to see us, and we've been able to see her go through puberty, go through life. They both have kids. Like, so it's like we've all lifed together. So I think our bond stays strong because we have two people actually that we get to lean on. So we have Jency, our big sister, and then we have Obi, our best friend. And they're basically like our two sisters. Like, we get to lean on them and kind of like be like, I don't like him right now, this and this. And then they kind of be like, girl, you're going to be over in like 5 minutes. Like, it's okay. And they kind of like level us out. And I think that's how we're able to stay strong. Do you feel like you agree with that? Right? Like, I feel like we use both of our sisters to get through whatever we have to get through. Or, when we're going through really, really good times, it's like, it's usually us there and then our best friend and our sister. So it's like, I don't know. It's like, I feel like you need validation from other people, or you need like that. I don't know how to word it, but it's like you need like that separation kind of from your twin to like get other people to hear what you got to say, but then you come together and you guys have your own bond. So I think that's how our bond stays so strong. Like, the third question is, if there's one piece of advice you could tell a younger pair of twins, what would it be? So for me, I'm going to answer for me. These are questions that I definitely want to ask Jolene when she comes on next week. But one piece of advice that I would definitely give younger twins is listen to your parents, listen to your teachers and everything. When they say like it's good to separate, it is good to separate. Like, me and Jolene, that's one thing that me and Jolene like did not listen to anybody about. Like, we thought we were supposed to be the same people. And sometimes people do treat you like the same people because you're so close. So one thing I would say is listen to the people around you who tell you, take on different hobbies. Like, y'all don't have to go to the same school. Y'all don't have to do the same things all the time. And it sounds scary to hear, especially you being so young and being like, no one could separate me from my twin. But I think that it would be very healthy to have your own. Because that's one thing that me and Jolene constantly struggle with and still struggle with. Like, our individuality, our self-identifications, especially like Jolene has a kid. I don't have a kid. I'm about to get married. Jolene's not like getting married. So it's like we're going through different stages in our lives and we don't know how to navigate it sometimes because we never had that separation. Like, even when we were like a little younger and like we were dating new people and like, let's say like Jolene's boyfriend didn't like me for whatever reason because we were too damn close, or my boyfriend didn't like her for whatever reason, we would break up with them. Like, we'll be like, what? Like, you cannot like my sister. But it's like, I just think that everybody thought, like, why are they so close? Like, they're just siblings. So that's one piece of advice that I would definitely give. Like, don't be afraid to be individuals. Like, it's not going to make you any less twins. Trust me. We still look alike. We're 28 years old and we still look freaking identical. Like, it doesn't change anything. And I think that's what me and Jolene were kind of scared of growing up. Like, we didn't want to like not look like each other, or people like not know us as like, our like twins. Like, but it's like, in all reality, I think if we got that separation when we were younger and we were able to explore our different hobbies and our different things that we liked, I think that we would have been just fine. Like, we will be just fine. And I definitely like get that now from like just seeing younger twins, from seeing us like just have different interests, different hobbies. And it's like, bitch, it don't make you any less of a twin because you like basketball and she like football. Like, it's not that serious. Or because you like fashion and she likes hair or whatever the hell. Like, you guys are still twins. Like, enjoy that individuality because I think it gives you more to talk about. It gives you more to bond about. And, you know, you don't always have to agree with each other. But it's cool when I see other, like, twins have different things that they like, that they have, like, they don't even live together. They don't even the same states, but they still be close as hell. Like, my fiance's mom is a fraternal twin, and her twin live in 2 different boroughs, but they're thick as thieves. So what I'm telling y'all, they talk every single day. They do everything together. They plan every single holiday together. We go on vacation every year with each other's families. Cause you know I'm part of the family now, so I get invited to all the stuff. So, but it's like their bond is not any closer, any like separate because they chose to be individuals, and maybe it's like a fraternal twin kind of thing. Because they don't look alike and they're not expected to be like the same person, like how me and Jolene were like raised to be. So maybe they were able to get that individuality. Like I would definitely talk to them and ask them. And I honestly should have asked them to like join the podcast questions, but it slipped my mind. Like they're older, they got lives. Like, you know, I would just be focused on social media. But I think I'm gonna tell them to listen to this podcast and ask each other those questions and see what they say, because it'll be interesting to hear from a fraternal twins perspective. So yeah, that's how I answer those questions. Do you feel like, well, I'm talking to Obi right now, but do you feel like you can answer these questions like just being our friends? Yeah. So like the advice one. I like the third one. If there's one piece of advice you could tell a young pair of twins, what would it be? From your experience of seeing us since we were younger till like now, yeah, what is some advice that you would like? We've been doing that all our lives.
Yourselves. You guys are 2 totally different people, and like you were born together, and like there's 2 different paths written for you guys. Even though you shared a room, you were born the same, you got the same face, with the same all stuff, but you're 2 different separate people. Like there are 2 separate souls in there, you know.
Period. Yeah, I could definitely agree. I'm like I constantly think of that. Like, I'm like, I wish that we would have enjoyed our individuality versus always trying to make sure that we were the same. Like, because there was times where, like, me and Julian didn't like the same things, but we would force ourselves to like the same things just so we wouldn't be separate. Like, I remember, this is so random, but I remember in high school, I wanted to join a bowling team. And I think that we were like missing like physicals or something, or like one of us didn't want to do it and the other one wanted to do it. Like I think I really wanted to do bowling because I was obsessed with bowling on the Wii. And I think Jolene like didn't care to do it that much, so I dropped it. But I'm like, I always dreamt of like being on the bowling team. And I used to see them all go to bowling, and they'll go to Chelsea Piers and go bowl, and I'll be like, I wish I could be with them. Like I want to go bowling. Like
in Booker T, like Arnold was funny.
I like a bowling. Like bowling, it looks so fun. Even in middle school, remember Ballet Hispanico? Like I was obsessed with Ballet Hispanico. That was like a Hispanic ballroom dancing that they introduced to minority schools, and I was obsessed with it. I don't know if Jolene cared about it too much, but
you did it and you went through it.
And I was gonna go through the competition and everything.
Jolene like signed up with you, and then like after the first week
she didn't care for it. But I basically didn't like continue it because I was like, oh, Jolene don't like it too much, so I don't like it too much. Like, and I'm like, I don't know where I could have been somewhere with the ballroom dancing. I loved ballroom dancing. Like, it was so fun to me. Like, I really, really enjoyed it. And I feel like everything I do, I'm so perfect at it. Like, you know, in my head, I feel like I'm perfect at it. So I thought I was so good. Like, I loved foxtrotting. I loved doing like the tango and all that stuff. Like, I saw... Like, I would light up when I would perform, and I didn't have, like, stage fright and stuff. Even theater. I did theater, and I sung. Like, I was really singing up yeah. We did, I think it was in middle school. Yeah, I feel like it was in middle school that we did the Rent play and stuff. I feel like I get shy because I feel like sometimes I put myself into a little ball and I don't let myself like express myself because I don't know like what's gonna come out. Like I don't know, but like I remember like singing and like enjoying singing. I was not good at it. I was not good. Trust me, I was not good. But I loved it so much. And I used to practice for dear life. But I enjoyed it, and I just remember like little stuff like that. I will fuck that shit up. That little TikTok filter with the do re. No, I gotta sound like Tony Braxton. The voice gotta be like this because I cannot high pitch. It's just not for me. Anyways, let's get into the other twins and what they had to say. So I'm gonna go into my Instagram and see what the girls said. So first one up, her name is Melanie. And it's so crazy because Melanie actually wrote me and Jolene on our birthday. Her and her twin share the same birthday as us. Get this. They share the same birthday as us, and they're also mono y mono twins. But they're 34 and we're 28. So that was the only difference. But they were so freaked out. They were like, what? You guys are like the same kind of twins that we are. And she sent me a selfie of them. And when I tell you, these girls look like a mirror. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, you see how me and Jordan are different weights and stuff? No. These girls got the same weight, same height, same everything. Both had the side swoop. Like, they look like the same exact person. It was crazy. It was crazy. Like, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever came across, but I love it. They're 34 years old. You think they live together? I don't know if they live together. I didn't ask those questions. Melanie, when you see this, let us know. Do you guys eat the same things? Do you guys do the same things? Y'all wake up, sleep together? Like, what is tea? Because the similarities is just too crazy. But, so Melanie answered the first question, what's life like as a twin? And her twin actually did not answer. This was only her answer. So I'm only giving Melanie's side. But she is an identical twin as well. So she said life with a twin is like an episode of Laverne and Shirley. We have our ups and downs, but it's definitely a key. I don't know who Laverne and Shirley are, but it sounds like a key. No, I feel like I get it. Like, she's probably talking about like a TV show or like something. I don't know, but it's probably where people are like yin yang, like, bounce off each other. The second one, what's the second question again? Hold on. Let me go.
You and your twin get along? If so, what keeps the bond strong?
Okay, so for number 2, she put, for the most part, we get along, but we have strong, different opinions. We fight like cats and dogs and act like it never happened. Accurate. We are very close and rely on each other for many things, a blessing and a curse. I can definitely agree with that. Melanie, do we have the same personality? This is odd. We need to meet y'all. Like, we need to have a live interview. Like, we do got the same birthday. We do live the same lives. I don't know. And then the third one was advice that you would give to younger twins. So she put, always stay close. Don't let anyone get in the middle of your relationship. Only you two know each other better than anyone else. I would say that's good, but it's like, that's a toxic answer. I think that's a little toxic. Don't let anyone get in between y'all. Like, I feel like I love Jolene to pieces, but I feel like Jared knows me on a different level than Jolene knows me. Like, you have to allow someone else, especially if it's like your partner that you're like, is gonna be your husband or your wife. We don't judge. But if you get a partner, like, I feel like your partner should know you a little more than your siblings. Just because, like, there should be that wall down with them where it's like you're so comfortable with them where you tell them a lot of everything. But then again, I feel like Jolene knows me a lot. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, Jolene knows me. Like, there's some stuff that I've never even told Jared. So I get it. Like, I get what she means. But definitely, like, don't be, like, I would say don't be scared to let your partner in. And, like, it's not about getting in between you guys, but also, like, you should be okay with having, like, 2 very close relationships, especially if it's, like, your partner and then your twin. Like, I think that's healthy. So the next one is for Yasmel. So Yasmel actually has a twin sister named Yanabel. And I'm not sure if they're fraternal or identical. I guess we'll figure it out if we see these answers and stuff. But Yanabel answered the last one. Yasmel answered the first 2. So we're going to see what Yasmel has to say. So what's life like with a twin? That's the first question. Yasmel said, life is cool and interesting. To me, it's always felt pretty normal because I was born with a twin. I feel like now that we're getting older, it's definitely getting more interesting with seeing each other's individual paths. And it's cool to live out these experiences with one another as well. I like that. I'm like, I feel like we're all kind of giving the same answers, and we're all around like the same like age range where it's like we're in our late 20s, early 30s. Yeah, those frontal lobes developing. We're noticing that it's okay to have our individuality because it's not gonna make us any less of twins. Like it's really not. Like I thought for a long time that it's like no one be able to tell that I'm a twin if I'm not around my twin. Like I gotta introduce her every second I get, and then it's like, bitch, y'all look just alike. Everybody knows. So the second one is, do you and your twin get along? If so, what keeps the bond strong? So Yasmo answered, do we get along? We do get along really well, but we definitely have our moments where we need our space and argue like everyone else. It's an up and down, to be honest, but most of the time we keep each other close. I feel like what keeps our bond strong is not only the connection we were born with, but we both like the same things, we enjoy the same things, and we mostly do everything together. Damn, are we all the same person, guys? Are we all the same person? We have learned to have a healthy boundary with each other and space as well, maintaining that at best as we can. Because we're so close, it can create a lot of codependency issues. You hit that. You hit that right on the head, girl. And just in general, everyone needs to do their own thing and be their own person. I can definitely agree with that. I like that. I like that, Yasmo. And then Yasmo answered the last question, and it was advice that you would give to younger pair of twins. So she said to be yourself. Embrace the connection you have with your twin. Understand that it's a unique and powerful thing. You were chosen to be this beautiful person, so embrace it. Individuality defines what makes you you as well. Don't compare yourself to each other. Don't compare yourself to each other, even though it's very normal too. But even though you were born a twin, individually, you both have something unique inside, and you will learn that as you get older and grow. Amen. It's okay to do your own thing too. The love y'all have for each other will always weigh out the negatives. Like I feel like everybody grows in their own space and pace. So even though y'all are twins, y'all are different people as well, and honor that. I love that because I feel like we are kind of like saying the same things, and I love that we're all kind of like on the same page with like the embrace your individuality. It doesn't make you any less of your twin. And then this is where her twin Yanabel actually answered, and she wrote, the advice that I would give to younger twins is always cherish the connection that you have with one another, and know that even though you guys came into life together, you are still individuals living a unique life experience together. I love that. People might try to group you guys together and treat you guys like y'all are literally one person, but find your individuality and prioritize solidarity because it's the way that you would learn and grow the most. And don't ever let anyone come in between the special connection you share with one another. Not a lot of people are going to understand the connection between twins, and that's okay. But don't ever let anyone steer you guys apart, ever. Thank you, Yanabel. I love that because I feel like we literally all have the same brain. So as you guys can see, I'm assuming that these two twins that I just spoke the answers out, I'm assuming we're all identical twins. It's given we're all identical twins because we all hang out way too much. It's given we stuck. Okay? Yes, right? I'm like, and I feel like their names give very like identical twins.
I'm actually over here thinking about my students.
Are they twins?
I have twin students in my class. So like last year I was in Chloe's class. I'm in Kaylin's class.
Do you see the difference between them?
Totally different. Like Kaylin is super timid, but like I thought like last year I was like, oh, she's so quiet and Chloe's outspoken. No, Kaylin talk. Kaylin talk, but when she talks, she's gonna, she's a little shy. She's timid, but she's a lefty. But they're totally different people. Like, and it's cool. Like, it's awesome. I'm like, I have best friends that I play.
Even if you like, one day just tell them and be like, put them to the side and be like, oh, like
how has it been like so far? Right?
Yeah.
Like 12, so like the frontal lobe has not developed.
Hell no. But even that is a great conversation to just tell them, especially because, we're basically talking to younger versions of ourselves and telling each other, like, it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to be individuals. So even if you kind of tell them, and I don't know if they'll be ready for it, but I think it would be good for, like, a teacher to tell them. Because a teacher has never told me and Jolene, like they will tell us, like, yeah, you guys can't be in the same class because we can't tell you apart. But y'all should have never, like, grouped it like that. Y'all should have told us that, like, you guys are individuals. You guys are so much alike, but so different. Like, it's like no one ever, like, really, like, sat us down and, like, told us these things. We had one aunt who kind of would just, like, tell us, oh, y'all don't gotta do the same thing all the time. Like, and she would kind of just, like, be, like, very, like, I don't know, like, she would just be, like, kind of, like, just trying to get us to separate. Like, dismissive kind of, but, like, just kind of get us to separate and, like, get over us being such twins. Like, and it's like, bitch, you don't get it. So don't come up in here trying to ruin our feng shui. Like, this is yin and yang over here. We got each other. But, like, like, that shit puts your defense up when you're like, this is my twin. You can't tell me that I can't be close to my twin. But it's like, there's ways to word it where it's like, I would listen to you better. I think I would have listened to someone better if they would have just told me, like, Jeizel, if you want to do bowling and Jolene doesn't want to do bowling, it's okay. Like, it's okay. Jolene's going to find something she likes and she's going to be okay. And then when you guys get home, you get to talk about bowling, she gets to talk about art or whatever the hell. Like, like, and I feel like if someone would have worded it to us like that, I think it would have made us less scared to try different things. Because when you're so young, you just think, like, I just want to be friends with my sister. I want to be, like, around my sister. Like, I just want to be around her all the time. And yeah, we have a lot of the same similar interests. Hell yeah, we still do to this day. But we have a lot of different interests too. Like, and that could have even, like, spilled into what we do today. Like, we're both hairstylists, but I'm speaking for myself. I know that I have a bigger passion of doing hair than Jolene does. Like, I loved doing hair since I was younger. Like, I used to watch my mom cornrow. I learned how to cornrow closing my eyes and just cornrolling my hair. Like, it's a different level of love and passion I have for hair than Jolene does. Jolene, I taught her how to do hair. So Jolene was able to pick it up and be so good at it because she's naturally good at everything she does as well. But it's like, I feel like she saw what I was doing. She liked how I was making the money and how I was really enjoying me and my clients, like, hanging out and stuff. So she took on that. I honestly think she loves doing hair, but it's something that brings her income and, is able to bring her, so she could talk to people, she could socialize. But I think if Jolene had to pick, that bitch should have been a comedian. Like, she's fucking hilarious. Like, and I don't think that Jolene notices, like, how funny she is. Just, there's no cue for it. There's no timing for it. That bitch just naturally is just like, what is going through your brain that makes you say this shit? Like, yeah, like, and I'm like, if she would have tapped into that, or she still has time. We're only 28 years old. Right. You could still tap in, girl. Like, you could dead be a comedian. Like, and like, even that, like, I'm like, Jolene's, the content creation, just like the different stuff that she does is like, if we were to explore these stuff and not be so afraid of, like, not being looked at as twins, I think that we would have both had different paths by now. Like, I strongly believe that. And we still have time, We're not even in our 30s yet. Like, they say the 20s is, like, the teenage years of your adulthood. Like, your 30s is, like, your adulthood for real. So, we still got time. I'm just saying. We still got time. So, I feel like I'm going to leave this on, like, on a note where I feel like, I don't have my twin here today, which feels so fucking weird. But it's made me, like, even, like, open up on this podcast today and just kind of just get comfortable with being by myself and seeing that I could do this by myself if I wanted to. I've always, even from the first season, I always brought on a guest. If Jolene wasn't able to come, I'm like, you, sit on the couch with me, join me. Like, I don't want to do it by myself. But it's like, seeing this right now, like, I could do this by myself. Like, I'm going to get emotional. But this is something that I always wanted to do. Like, and even, like, for last episode when me and Jolene spoke about it, and Jolene said, like, this is something you want to do, and you're the one who kind of pulled me in it. And it's like, you're right, because I'm terrified of doing stuff by myself. Like, sometimes I get so scared, and I don't want to do stuff by myself. But I'm like, you just did a bomb-ass episode. Like, you got this. Like, you can do this by yourself. And, yeah, it's called Famously Unknown, but it's not called Famously Unknown Twins. Like, it's like, bitch, nobody know you. Like, you allowed to be famously unknown and just be yourself. So, if it comes to it and I decide to go solo which I don't know what the podcast is gonna bring or whatever. But if I decide to go solo and if I decide to keep the podcast and do my own thing, I'm confident that I can do this. Like, I naturally have a voice where I like speaking, I like talking, like I like this podcast stuff. I enjoy asking the questions. I enjoy getting deep. Like, this is something that I like. This is something that I can consider one of my passions. Like, I've always wanted to try it. I'm the one who did all the research to figure out how to start a podcast. And then I put my Obi and Jolene on. Like, I'm like, this is what you gotta do and this is what you gotta do. Like, I literally sat there with Obi and taught her how to edit. And I'm like, yeah, this, and then like, she's looking at me like, bitch, you really figured all this out? And it's like, yup, I did. And I'm gonna put you on. Like, so it's exciting. I'm like, it's exciting. And it's just good to know that, like, I can be my own individual person, even though I love, having my twin by my side. But as we're growing, as we're getting older, stuff changes, things move different, and I just have to be able to embrace these things and not be scared of, like, individuality. And this is still something I'm learning. I'm only 28 years old. I'm a young spring chicken. Like, not too much on me. But, like, what if in a few months I decide to do my own thing and I really enjoy it and you guys really enjoy it and I have Jolene on sporadically? Or what if we continue to do the twin thing and then, for whatever reason, when one of us is not able to do it, the other one can take over and have a solo episode. And it's like, it's not that bad. I thought it was going to be like, oh God, this is going to be boring. But it's not. Like, it's actually a good time. Okay, I got personality.
Not to take away from Jolene, but you pop it too.
Yeah.
On the show.
Yeah, I'm like, and I think for a long time, I always looked at it like Jolene have the personality, I have like the brains or whatever, or like I was like the background behind it. And I used to be scared of putting myself in the forefront because it makes me anxious a little bit. Like, even when I record for TikTok and stuff, like, I will put my clients in the forefront and all you will do is hear my voiceovers. I don't like putting myself on camera all the time because I'm like, y'all don't gotta see who I am. Y'all just gotta like enjoy the content. Like, but it's just like, I'm just like thinking right now and I'm like, Jeizel, you could do this shit. Like, bitch, you could do this. You got this. Like, you deserve to be in the forefront. And even for my birthday, I forced myself to like dye my hair orange because I was like, I'm sick of trying to hide and have this black hair and thinking that it's like people are going to see me less because I have black hair and, people don't really look at me because I have black hair. Like, no, bitch, you're pretty. You have a big personality. Everybody knows you already. Like, the black hair ain't doing shit. So go back to orange, express yourself, make sure you're being seen, make sure you're being heard, like, be your authentic self and like, see where it takes you. So that's really like what I'm going to start doing. I'm definitely even taking the advice from like the other twins that I heard their answers. And I'm like, I got to stop being afraid of like being my own individual person and thinking that it's going to make me any less of a twin. Because it's really not. Like, I'm always going to be a twin. I'm always going to be Jolene's twin. Like, everybody's always going to know me and Jolene as identical twins. We don't look any less alike. But we're two different people. And it's time to embrace it and just, move forward and really like express that and show that and make sure people see that. Because I think that not only do we deserve it, but people deserve to see that we're two different people. People say in our comments all the time, like, oh my God, I see the two personalities. I see y'all two different people. And I'd be like, no. But it's like, yeah, girl, y'all are. And it's okay. Yeah. I would love for I'm cursing a little too much, so we might have to bleep it out. But yeah, I'm like, I think this would be a really good episode if you know any twins, if you guys are twins, like listen to this episode and just like kind of put your own thoughts into it. If you have to have a one-on-one deep discussion, or even if you're someone who has twin friends and they may not be as close, guys, we did not get all the visuals for the podcast because the phone ran out of storage. But next week, we're having a photographer join us and he is going to start recording our podcast. So this shit will never happen again. So for the people who are listening to the audio and look forward to listening to the visuals, just make sure that you guys check out the full like audio because the audio is going to be in full of everything that we spoke about. If you're watching the visuals and you're feeling like, I missed a chunk of this episode, go back to the visuals because then the audio, because you'll be able to listen to everything that was said. But yeah, I was basically saying, I'm going to go back to what I was saying. And basically I was saying, if you have twins in your life and if you are a twin, and you guys want to open up a discussion about individuality, about just, knowing yourselves and the attachment and where it comes from, and, just all the things that we all really don't get a chance to speak about too much, I think that this will be a really great episode for you to listen to, tune into, and just give your thoughts. If you guys don't mind commenting, letting us know how you guys think this episode went. I think this was a really good episode. It touches a lot of good topics about twins, and I was so happy that we were able to get twins to answer back. Shout out to y'all for answering back and getting back to me. I appreciate y'all. I hope to bring on other people that can open discussions up for further and future episodes. We look forward to bringing our videographer on. We're super, super excited for that. The podcast is growing, glowing, and we cannot wait to see what it brings. This was episode 17, right? Damn. We're getting so close to 20. Oh, this is crazy. But yeah, we have a few more episodes before season 2 wrap up, and I'm just super excited to see where the podcast takes us. So this is my time. I'm Jeizel, and this is Famously Unknown, the podcast. Make sure you guys follow us on all social medias, on all social platforms. Make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and commenting. Bring that engagement up. We really, really appreciated how much engagement episode 16 brought, and we're just hoping to keep bringing it up as the episodes air. So please help us help you keep this going. We love you guys, and we'll talk soon.